Well, and this is something Dale Carnegie talks a lot about too in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another notable quotable here. This is what Dale Carnegie says. When dealing with people, let us remember we are not dealing with creatures of logic, exactly like you're saying. We are dealing with creatures of emotion, creatures bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity. Why do we have to know this when we're trying to just communicate an idea to somebody?
Well, I used to be in a room back in the day with my staff, and I'd be sitting at the boardroom table talking to guys, and I would sit here, and these people were all sitting here, and I used to think, okay, what I'm doing is I just have to explain to them the logic of the idea. If I can just explain the logic, everyone's going to win.
Right.
But what I soon discovered is over here, sitting across the table from me is Mr. Fear.
Yeah.
Sitting over here is Mr. Vanity.
Right.
Sitting over here is Mr. Pride.
Right.
Sitting over here is Mr. He Needs Love. Sitting over here is Mr. Fun. Over here is Mr. Logic.
Yeah.
And over here is Mr. Money. And I realize that all these people make decisions for different reasons.
Yeah.
So I've got to address all of that in order to influence them. So literally, I've got one guy on our team right now, and every time I talk to him, he's like, I don't care. What makes us the most money?
Right.
Every time we look at anything.
Right.
Okay, cool. I got another guy who says, I don't really care if it makes money. I just want to make sure that I care about the cause.
Right.
Everyone has a different reason.
You got to figure out how to communicate.
So don't just get into a logic-based discussion with everyone because you can't influence people that way.
And talking about influence, that leads us right into our third principle here.
Woo.
Principle number 3, true sales is about influence, not about manipulation. True sales is about influence, not manipulation. Why do so many people think it is about manipulation?
Because these principles we're teaching you for good can be used for bad. So I'll give you an example. There is a thing that we know about called nuclear energy, okay?
Yeah.
It's nuclear energy, or just you can call it energy. But nuclear energy could be used to make massive explosions, right?
Yeah.
Mushroom clouds, you know what I mean? This could be used to do that. Or it could be used to heat, power, cool, provide energy to houses, right?
True.
It's this or this. The energy itself is not the problem.
Okay.
It's, are we using it to blow things up? Is that what we're doing? Or are we using it to take care of people and help them heat and cool their homes?
Okay, so this is how to influence people, and influencing people can be, when it's used incorrectly, manipulation.
So here's an example. Probably one of the most powerful orators that we can ever think of is Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King Jr., he actually helped change the mindset of America for good. And he had this thing called the ability to sell or influence, right? This is what Martin Luther King can do.
Right.
But also, on the worst side of this in the history of humanity is Hitler.
Right.
The worst in the both of them were powerful orators.
Right.
I think anybody in the world would love to have the speaking skills of either one of these people. But one couldn't have been more good, and one could not have been more evil, but they both had the ability to influence. But so many people, when they think of influence, they just think of manipulators.
Right.
And the reality is, we live in a corrupt and fallen world where a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. Every leader, all of us, be the first one to cast the stone if you are sinless. But the point is, everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
So we think of the corrupt president or the corrupt leader. We think about the corrupt basketball player. You think of Tom Brady with the footballs. He will be justified soon.
He's deflating footballs.
Well, I'd say soon he will be proven to be just and right and pure in every area on the field. But the thing is that we think of influence, we think of, everyone's trying to screw us, they're trying to manipulate us, they're trying to whatever. But really the principle is neutral.
Well, and a lot of people, I think, say, I don't want to do sales because I don't want to manipulate people that way. But Zig Ziglar, a little notable quotable from Zig Ziglar says, stop selling, start helping. Stop selling, start helping. Because that's where, if you have the ability to sell and influence, you can actually start helping other people.
Okay, helping versus hurting. And this right here, over here on the helping side, okay, this is influence. And in my mind, this is right, influence. This would be considered selling.
Yeah.
And this over here is called manipulation. So what happens is you ask yourself, at the end of the day, is my product helping or hurting people?
Right.
And if you're helping people, then in my mind, you should proudly sell it. You should influence people. You should convince people that it is the right idea at the right time for the right person right now. However, if it's hurting people, it's manipulation. You can stop doing it.
Okay, so what we're doing here is we've hopefully shown you guys that selling is important. It's something that everybody needs to be doing. The three points we went over were we're all selling, okay? Second, if you can't sell, all your ideas are going to Hades. And the third is true sales is about influence, not manipulation.
Absolutely.
if you have convinced me, talk to the Thriver on the other side of the camera that says, all right, I never thought I was selling. I didn't think it was important for me to be able to influence people. Now I understand. What books would you recommend to the Thriver who says, let's get into it? How do I do this better? I need to improve.
Well, if you're somebody who learns very well through reading, Soft Selling in a Hard World by Vass, V-A-S-S, is the most powerful sales book out there in terms of just the brass tacks of how to sell.
Right.
Never seen a better book about that. Small book, great book. Soft Selling in a Hard World. Also, I'd recommend you watch every video that we put out every month on sales.
Right.
Because sales is it's kind of like working out, or it's kind of like taking a shower. You're never done getting clean. You take a shower and tomorrow you wake up and you're like, what's that taste in my mouth? I'm gross. I'm a gross person. And you want to brush those teeth, right?
It's the same with sales.
You want to take a shower. You want to, sales, you want to just keep on getting better day after day after day after day. Don't just go, well, I've learned sales, so now I've learned everything. No. Commit to just being the best at it.
Right.
Maybe take 15 minutes a week and watch a nice video on sales every week until you become the top of the top of the top, the best of the best, and then just keep on going.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's your, if you're influencing or manipulating, whatever it is, but you've kind of convinced me just being around you. You have convinced me you are, in fact, a beautiful man, and I love being around you. So thank you.
Thank you. I've never been complimented for my outward beauty.
Boom.